Hey, Ecamm fam, Canva user fam. Welcome to the house. As the last 2 days, today is day 3, and I'm Bradley Benson, aka Bradley Teaches, aka Alana's Pawpaw. And we're ready to rock and roll for the third day of this Canva challenge. Thank you guys for being here. And first question today: who made the most frames in Keynote yesterday and started playing with those in Canva? I know a lot of you guys got busy making frames last night and doing those things. It can be a rabbit hole you can jump down in and kind of get really tied up in that. So uh, it seems as though you guys liked that little tip, that little how-to yesterday. So really appreciative of that. Thank you guys for doing that. And welcome to day 3. So it's going to have some fun today. We're going to do some presentation designs because I want to kind of work through that. I called it Prezi style designs, but just even regular presentations, right, when you're part of the slides. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to do some animations of lower third stuff, things like that. And I want to field your questions about things you may want to build and animate. So we're going to definitely get into that today. I'm excited about that. Hopefully you guys are excited about that. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping from yesterday, set a couple of things straight, and I actually want to go back, kind of circle back a little bit from yesterday and build some of the graphics I said I was going to build, but it kind of turned into a, hey, this is something you want to think about instead of me showing you that graphic. So I want to do a couple of those things today. So we'll see how it goes. Yes, it's day 3 already. So hey, everybody! This is the intro time, right? We still got about 4 minutes of this because we got some people that's you know they're late. I put in a 5-minute pre-show timer, and it's 10:02 now, and they're not here. But people like to show up before the tardy bell, hopefully. So that'll be 10:05. So we can just kind of chop it up here a little bit and talk a little bit. Atlanta GA's in the house from the Research Triangle. What is that? Dan, what is the Research Triangle? That's a new one. Man, maybe it's just new to me. I have no idea what that is. Uh, yeah, James, man, you're not behind, man. You whatever pace you are, that's the pace. A lot of this Ecamm stuff, because this is kind of the season for a lot of our challenges and Adrian's Academy and that kind of stuff. And it can be kind of learning by fire hydrant or fire hose kind of thing, right? But I guess the thing to really learn is how to apply these different things to what you're trying to do with your content. So beyond all the glitz and glamour and the animations and stuff flying across the screen and interviewing 50 people at a time and LUTs and all this kind of stuff, man, just focus on your content. And then all this other stuff is ways to enhance it. So I would say focus on your content, get that locked in, and then like, oh, I can use a graphic here. Oh, my lighting might be able to be changed a little bit there. Oh, my background's a little messy. Let me work on my background. Focus on your content and use all that other stuff to enhance your content. Because frankly, even though I do graphics, this is my usual setup. Now, I do have a typical, what I call Bradley bubble that I have on the screen. That's a little bit of marketing, a little bit of a call to action that's on the screen with me at all times. But frankly, in all the graphics I'm teaching people how to make and use, I use very few in my content because I'm usually teaching it. And I want to have as much screen real estate as possible for all the things I'm teaching and showing you guys. So I'm a graphics guy and don't use a bunch of graphics, right? So think about the need, and is this going to enhance what I'm doing? Is it going to improve what I'm doing? Or is it just wrapping paper on something else that needs improving, right? So always work on your content first, then work on this other stuff, man. I mean, and I tell folks at minimum, get a logo bug. Now I have a physical logo bug here over my shoulder, but get a little logo bug that you put in one of your bottom corners out of the way and start with that and just keep building and building, work on your brand colors, work on your studio. But while you're doing all that, continuously work on your content and then just let this other stuff kind of work with that. Excuse me for that long tangent, but I think that's really important because I think a lot of times we get into the stuff instead of the content. Content is still king. And like yesterday, right, when you saw that grid that I made and that top line went straight through my eyes here, I'm still using a rule of thirds, right? Eye line. My mouth is the most important thing. So that's dead center of this video. My mouth, the content that I'm giving you. And so if you're a talk show, this is a good setup. And then use a couple of graphics, use a little text around it to enhance it and keep it moving, man. People are there for your content, not for how cool your graphics are. And I'm a graphics guy. And they're not here for how cool my graphics are. They're here for me to show them how to make graphics, right? So that's my content. Okay, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Cool. All right. Yeah, and people have asked over and over. Yeah, let me do a little housekeeping now. It is 10:06. The thing I'm using for my little mouse, and I'll just show my work screen here for a quick second. This thing you see right here that I'm using, it'll also zoom. I can also highlight stuff. This is called Pro Mouse, not Magic Mouse, but Pro Mouse. It's an app in the App Store. Look for Pro Mouse. It's there. You can change the size of the cursor. You can change the halo. You can make it draw. It's great for people that have teaching applications, but it's called Pro Mouse. And thank you so much, Ecamm, for putting the actual link directly to it in the thing. All right. The next thing I wanted to cover is yesterday, a question came up when I said you might want to blur a video animation and, because you might have text you want to put on top of it. And I was like kind of nonchalantly saying, just blur it. Well, either I was just highly mistaken that I have used that feature before, or Canva has taken it away because I couldn't find any way to blur videos last night. I mean, I spent a long time trying to figure it out. Now, you can obviously, well, not obviously, but you can blur pictures. But I could have sworn I've blurred a video before. I can't find it. It's nowhere in the apps. Yeah, and so I just can't find it. Maybe it's a feature that they moved. It might be under some kind of weird right click somewhere. I just can't find it. But what I said, though, still applies, that there is an instance where you may want to blur a video when it's being used because it's going to be in the background and you want it to look like it's really your background, or you want to put text on top of it. You don't want it to look too busy. So yes, you may want to, there's times you want to blur a video, but it looks like right now in Canva, that's not possible. So, but because we're all Ecamm users, right? You can do an overlay, like a white overlay in Ecamm, and then make it a blur filter kind of thing to blur everything behind it. So there is still an option to do that. Unfortunately, once you bring whatever you're bringing out of Canva, though, that video and the text are stuck together. So it's going to add an extra step. You're going to have to bring the video in as is, put the blur in front of it in Ecamm or maybe some other app, and then add your text. So it's a little more complicated now to do it. And I could have sworn that Canva had that option. If you guys find it, please DM me. Please put it in the chat here. I love to learn too. So if somebody else finds that, let me know. As usual, put a Q colon in front of your questions, and I'll do my best to address them. And I do have some helpers here. Paul, Dan, thank you all for jumping in and answering those questions for me. Love that. It's part of the Ecamm community and part of the support. So you guys are really helping me as well as helping other people. All right. Okay, yeah. I wish I could have made a projects folder, see my stuff, but I can't group it into a new folder. I think you can. Let's go here. You can click that, and you can say move to folder right there. Let me zoom that in with my Pro Mouse. So when you click the three dots on any project, you have a move to folder option. You can make folders. So once you make a folder, you can move everything to it. You should be fine that way. No more questions. Okay, there we go. Okay, when I broke apart a shape, I couldn't fill it with a video. Broke apart. There was only one shape that happened to. Let me know what shape that was, if you can remember the exact shape, and I'll go try to find it and see what might be the problem. I'm thinking I might know what the problem is already, but I don't want to jump and give an answer that may not be valid. Uh, yes, called Pro Mouse. It's about $5. Yep. Okay. Y'all are digging that Pro Mouse. I wish I had an affiliate link for that. But they probably would give me 2 cents out of the $5, so it wasn't here. Okay. Can I bring in any of my fonts into Canva as long as they're... I think so. If they're installed, I think they're there. I've never really tried to use any outside fonts in Canva. It's probably a pro thing to add your own system fonts. Good question though. I never tried it. Uh, da, 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 da. All right, y'all. Use the cue. All right. We're good to go now. You found the blur for videos. Please put that in the comments. Because I looked yesterday to my brain started dripping, so I had to stop. Yeah, yes, you can do that. You can make a transparent shape in Ecamm and use it. What's the feature that Canva integrated? What is the feature that Canva integrated AI? I don't know. Okay, we'll work on that. Candle with the plug shape was one I couldn't add video to after it broke apart. Okay, and we'll play with that real quick too. All right. So since we had I know that the keynote thing was pretty much the highlight of the day. What I'm going to do real quick now, we're going to first, for a hot second, we're going to jump into keynote and see about these issues somebody was having with one of the frames. That's probably not it, but you said a light with a plug. Yeah, I did that. Select a photo or video and click effects. I did that and scroll all the way down to blur. So you're telling me that it was basically me not scrolling down that made me not find that? Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't see anything but a candle with the plug shape, so I don't know. Tell me what to search for to find it, or how I can search and find it, or what the literal name of it is, and we'll get to that. All right, so let's go back here, and I want to do a couple of things first before we get strongly into animation, because there were some graphics that people were asking me for yesterday, and one of them was that full screen graphic kind of thing, and I didn't do it yesterday, and I said I would do it today. And since we're here now, here's a video. We're going to go to edit video. We're in effects. Yeah, see? I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to chase this rabbit hole live, but we'll see. Select of the photo or video and click effects. Scroll down to blur. Yeah, I'm in effects. Okay. And then we have, let's go to photos. Just going to stick a photo here. It's there. And edit image. See, blur is an option here. Oh no, this is probably something I'm clicking wrong. All right, let's go back here. We're going to make a full screen graphic. I'm gonna delete all this stuff here. And essentially a full screen graphic is a image. Let's use that same image again, no biggie. Now we're not gonna need green screen for this because none of it's gonna be transparent. It's basically going to be an image that fills the slide. And then we're going to add basically a text box, right? So it's a literal full screen image. And so when I get done with this, make sure it's centered in both directions. There we go. And I'm probably gonna, well, we're gonna leave it that color. Let's make it gray so we can put a black text in it. Zoom back in. Then we're gonna go to text. This is text for the full screen graphic. Okay. And obviously that's too small. Right, I would have, and that depends on the font too. I'd have this text probably no smaller than the 40s or 50s in size. Take some of this off. So basically, this is what I would consider, probably want to go about 55 or so, right? So this is basically a full screen graphic. So when you're talking, you'll put this graphic up, you won't be seen on screen at all. And you can basically read this like a script, or it can be bullet points. Hey, here's, as a wrap up to today's lesson, here are the 20 things we talked, or not 20, here are the 5 things we talked about today. It's actually kind of a version of this, right? When I just have the homework of today, because I'm teaching you guys, my little video graphic bubble is still down here, but this is a full screen graphic, right? It's the same type of thing as this. So that's what I would consider a full screen graphic. You can brand it, you can change the pictures in the background, you can have a video in the background just to have some movement. But this is something to give yourself a break from being on screen, give your audience a break from seeing you, give them something they can screen capture, that kind of stuff, right? So that's essentially what a full screen graphic is. It's literally a full screen information graphic. Now, that being said, I go back here now, and we did some rough, not lower thirds, we did some rough sidebars and things like that yesterday, but different stuff that you want to consider, right? Because today is animation day. So we have a pop-up graphic. Now, the cool thing about this, and I'll talk more about this tomorrow when I talk about the dynamic duo, as you think through some of these things and some of the ways you want to do graphics, blank graphics are also an option, right? Because you can add your text and even text animations and things like that in Ecamm. And I'll speak more about that in my dynamic duo using Ecamm and putting all this stuff together lesson tomorrow. But when you're thinking about your pop-up graphics, it might not be a reason to make, 6 graphics for every video that you make, especially if your pop-up graphic is really just a box, right? That you want to have animated just to add a little pizzazz or whatever to it. But the text content is basic. So it might be, I'm not sure how old some of you guys are. When MTV first came out, it was a show called Pop-Up Video. And they would show music videos, and up on the screen it would pop up and it would show facts about the video. Hey, this was filmed in Atlanta. Hey, they were in the lake and a shark almost bit their boat when they were filming this scene. So it's like little stuff like that, right? That kept the audience engaged to learn backstory about the videos. So little pop-up graphics like that just pop up during your video can be highlight points and things like that. Now I would jazz this up some, right? I would maybe use a light bulb or something like that, or a big question mark like a did you know? But you can make that as a basic graphic, then add the content that would go on top of that graphic in Ecamm. So all I need is one graphic like this, or make 3. and, 2 different brand colors and then some other color. And so things like that, right? So let's actually finish this out because I want to, let's say question mark. And you can literally use just a regular question mark too. Right, so that can be your basic graphic there. And then you add text. Did you know? I'm gonna make that bold, make it impact. Love impact. Impact, Futura. I love those fonts. Those are some really good sans serif fonts. Hold their weight well, hold their legibility at different sizes, right? So now that whole thing can be a graphic. And now you just add the text you're gonna put here in Ecamm, right? And so with that being said, let me see if you guys or any other graphics you guys would like to see. And then what I want to do is start animating. So let me see real quick. Yeah, pop-up videos. Y'all remember those? Okay, cool. All right. There we go. See, we're still valuable. We still do stuff, right? Um, yeah, you can add FAQs as a box, and so stuff like this, right? You can say commonly asked questions or FAQs. What? What about sparkles and a wand? Yeah, you know how I am about what I call cheesy stuff, but that's good if it fits your brand and that's your thing. Your sparkles, do your thing. I think it'd be kind of cool. Um, so if I didn't see anything about stuff that you guys might have ideas of, so let's start animating. All right. Now, if you registered along with the handout for Monday, the graphics pack for yesterday, today you should have gotten a kind of a cheat sheet for all, I'm going to use air quotes because Canva's always changing, all of the possible animations you can do for your elements or for anything you add to the screen. Um, cool. All right. So we're going to go here and I'm going to change that. I'll just leave it red. All right. But change the colors as you need, right? So I'm going to click all of these. Well, I got an idea. All right. What I'm going to do, we're just going to animate this and kind of think about what we want to do with it. So I'm going to go to the Animate palette. And I must say a couple things for you guys, right? What's cool about Animate is as you mouse over it, it's going to show you the animation. I love the pop animations. Wipe, pan is good. Rising from a position is good. Now, here's the thing that I want to just say this in a general sense. Regardless of what you use to make your animations, I like all of my animations to happen and stay within the window of my video screen. And what I mean by that, so say for instance, we have tumble. That's a long tumble. Scrapbook. Okay. See how that came out of the corner from outside of my video? The problem with that is that if I did that animation, it looks cool right here coming out of that corner and swinging in. But say I decide, okay, I want to make a generic kind of graphic with animation, and I want to move it over here instead. Now that animation is going to start off with a corner on it because it came through that corner. It's going to come over here out of some weird corner and then go into place. When you have animations that come from out of the screen, you're now kind of locked in to only being able to use that graphic in that position. You can't move it around. You can't be like, okay, well, I have a guest today and now I'm on a split screen and I want this animation to pop up between us, not over here. Now you got to go back and make a new graphic, right? Instead of kind of being, I want to make my graphics that so they work kind of universally within my content. So I'm not always jumping back and forth making 8 versions of that graphic for every different situation. So that's kind of some of that forward thinking I want you to think about, even when you're trying to think of animations and things that your graphics are going to do, because their intent is to enhance and what's the other word? Not enhance, but support your content, not to add a hindrance, right? So with that being said, I'm going to pop in the yellow portion, and I'm going to, we can drift in that. I'll make that drift in. And I'm going to make the did you know, because see, now it changed to a text animation versus an element animation. I'm going to make that pop in too, but what I want to do is I want it to pop in with the yellow. So I'm going to select that and the yellow, and I'm going to group them, and now I'm going to animate to pop. So now they pop in together. And we can change that in the background. You know how we can do that just by moving the position. So let's go to position here, go to layers, and we're going to move that to the top. And all that stuff down there goes together. So we have those two pieces there. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. There you go. All right. So now when I play this through, I'll just scrub through it. See how that drifts in and that pops up. Now, here's what's cool. Remember the other day when I was showing you how you can customize your animations and have them timed and things like that? Because as you can see down here, this one page, Canva calls everything pages, even though it's a video, is 5 seconds long, right? I might not want all those animations to take 5 seconds to come into place. So who remembers what I was saying the other day about how you can adjust your animations on their timeline to do different things at different times, right? So we're going to click the first one, click the second one, then we're going to right click and go to show timing. And I'll zoom that in for you. Right click, show timing. Now this is going to be similar to what we had in Keynote when you had your actions palette. This is a very reduced version of that. All right, so we're going to click this little arrow here because I have two things that are animating. So I have the question marks and I have the bubble, right? I'm going to have the bubble be at the beginning because this is going to be an animation of its own. So I want it to instantly pop up when I want it to pop up, right? But I want the drift of the question marks to come in after the pop-up is complete. So let's drag this little thing just to see. Pop. And there we go. Right? And so I'm going to also have this not go away. I'll show you how to fix that real quick. All right. So we're going to click back on that. We're going to go to Animate. Now, here's the thing that I noticed also with Canva is that a lot of the features, let me zoom in on that, a lot of the animation features are pro features. That's a little bit of a downer, but if you want to go with the default speeds and things like that, that's fine. Everything kind of has its speed, which is okay because you can adjust that now by moving it in the timeline. So that's one way to do it on a free account, but they put a lot of things behind the pro paywall. But some of these things are worth it, but we'll see. All right. So instead of both here, I only wanted to animate on enter. So now it should not go away at all. Right? So it stays there. So these little things here, you definitely want to watch these. Whenever you pick an animation, you have it to come in on that and exit on that, or do one or the other. That's kind of like that build in, build out in Keynote. That's all that is, on enter, on exit. So as you build your designs, you work through those, right? And you kind of set them up to do, just by doing that little extra thing, enhances the animation that much more. So hopefully this is helping so far, guys. I just want to show you little different things you can do. Yeah, you did remember? Okay, cool. All right. So now let's animate this lower third. So we're going to go in here now. Uh-oh. There we go. Got a lot of stuff going on from the past days. All right, so let's go to this animation bar here. And we're going to animate the pieces. So I'm thinking we can animate in the white first and then make the yellow pop out from it and then do something with that. And so as I said before though, right, the same way that your graphics only enhance or support your content, you don't want to overdo your animations for the sake of adding a bunch of animations that people, one, may not even notice the effort you had to put in to make that happen, or two, it becomes distracting from the content versus enhancing the content. Now, this pop-up graphic here, that's going to make somebody's eyes jump to it. That's exactly what you want to do. Hey, look at this. Hey, here's something new. That's cool for that. For a lower third, you might want to be more subtle, unless it's a lower third that's a call to action. Like, make sure you click like or leave a comment in the comment box. Things like that, right? You want to have that eye jump down to that thing or have a pattern interrupt to make them actually want to do that. Yeah, I'll do an enter and exit on this one. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm kind of thinking through now my order. I want the white box to come in first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to animate all the pieces and then fix the order based on the timeline, right? So for this animate, I kind of like pop. Drift is okay. Tectonic. And see, that's kind of, neon, stomp. Okay, we're going to do a basic wipe. Let's do wipe for that. Now let's do pan. I'm going to do rise. Okay, do rise for that. The yellow, because I was thinking about what I want the yellow to do. I want the yellow to okay, I like the yellow panning in. Okay, I'm going to have this box pop in. And I'm going to have this box. Nope, don't want stump. I have it neon in. And I'll have this one neon in until I have them do that together. Okay. All right. And then everything kind of leaves. I can make everything leave in a different way. So I'm thinking about what I want the animation to do. Now, another thing to think about, I have everything coming in different ways, but I can also make all of them leave the same way. So if I want them all to leave the same way, kind of like in a fade, I can just pick on exit for all of them to fade out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything and I'm going to shift click the background because I don't want the background. And I'm going to go to animate. And I don't know if I'm going to mess this up or not, but we're going to see. This is going to be fun. Okay. Fade on exit. All right. Cool. All right. So there we go. So we're going to see if I made all that stuff do that. All right. So here we go. So now we have all the pieces here. We won't do the text. All right. So each piece, I'm going to select all these pieces again. Don't want the background. Right click. Show timing. Expand them all. All right. So I do want the bar to come in first. I want I can't tell which one of these is the big bar. That's the small bar. The big bar to come in after that one, after it's done, right? Then I want the long bar to pop in last. So that's going to be after both of those are done. And I want that to also pop in with it. And oh, and then this will come in very last. That'll pop in very last, like that. All right, let's test it. Drop that down. All right, we're going to scrub it first. All right, so we're scrubbing. Okay, oh, I need to get the heading bar to come in as an animation. No, I don't. I want that to start with that. Okay, so as you see here, that pops in first. A little bit out of order. Okay, so let's play them. Let's see. Oh, they're all popping in now. I did change it. All right. Live. That's what happens live. All right. How do you select all the graphics? How I try to select it? You can do it multiple ways, right? Select all the graphics. You can shift click each one like that. You can drag and click all of them, then shift click what you don't want, right? See that? Now you can see that that rectangle is right here. Or you can go to position and shift click like that. So there's three ways to do it. You can kind of try to precision shift click them. You can do to go to position layers and shift and click each one, or you can try to drag and get all the stuff you want and then unclick by shift and clicking the stuff you don't want. So those are multiple ways you can do it. All right, let's go back. All right, so we're gonna go to, oh, that's why. All right. Oh, now I know. All right, we're going to redo that all again. I have to remember, and I don't know why I didn't think about this. Green is our friend now, right? Because we cannot export videos with transparent background. I keep forgetting green is our friend. So what I'm going to do to make all of these things disappear together, I'm going to do a green hider box to make everything disappear. That makes it a lot more simple than trying to exit all the elements. I can use green to make them disappear. So when I do all these designs, I'm only going to do enter designs, but then I'm going to exit the design with green. So let me show you how that plays out. I'm going to delete my background graphic here for a second, and I'm going to make this green because this is the best way to kind of make it play itself out. And this is what it's going to really look like. All right, so we're going to go to animation. I like rise. We'll do rise for that. We will do drift in for that in that direction. No, pan in. That's what I want. Pan in for that. Only on enter. Go back to that one. We're going to do rise for that. Only on enter. We're going to pop in. Make both of these pieces, group them. We're going to make these neon in just for the sake of, because it can be neon. And then finally, we're going to have this pop in only on enter. All right. And let's make neon only on enter. Then finally, we'll make the text fade in. Fade in only on enter. All right. And as you saw right then, it just kind of played itself through, right? Fade up, flash, flash, da 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 da, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the timing for all these things, right? Yeah, I have a shortcut for all those things on that already. All right, so what we're going to do here now, we're going to go to a point where everything's on screen. We're going to go to position route, right? So let's click all these elements, shift, right click on them, show timing, expand. So with the add a heading, we're going to have it go last. We're going to have the white part come in first. The yellow part. These two parts. and then the text finally comes in last. The text will come in at the same time that that bubble thing pops up, right? All right. So let's rock it. So let's drag this thing and see. The white part comes in, yellow part slides in, bottom part flashes in. As the text pops in, the box pops in, and they all stay on screen. All right, so let's play through that one more time. Right, and they all stay there. So now we're going to use green to make all the things disappear. So first I want to do is stretch this out some. I'm going to have it so it all gets on screen in roughly 5 seconds. And so we're going to go to about 10 seconds before it leaves. So 5 seconds to appear, stays on screen for about 4 seconds, and then disappears by using green. Yeah, the page, oh, is it under my picture? No. So down here, each page has a timeline, and the default is 5. But you see this little gray part at the end? I can drag that to whatever length I want. And that's all I did down here. It was defaulted at 5. I did all my animation pieces, and then I extended it to 10. Right? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use green. I'm going to use green to make everything disappear. So right about this line here, I can use a green to fade it all away, which is probably the easiest thing, right? So I'm going to go to Elements, and I'm going to do it with a different color, just so you can see what I mean. Let's make it this pinkish red, right? So I'm going to make this bigger than everything, and also position it on top of everything, right? So now when I fade this, this will fade in on top of everything else. So I'm going to go to Animate. I'm going to say Fade. And I'm going to go on Enter. I want to go kind of fast. All right. So it's going to fade in pretty quick. And I'm going to put it all the way down here. Right? Because what's going to happen when I do that, it's basically going to disappear when that fade comes in. And so that's how I can make everything leave. Now I can do something different. No, there's no hex code for the best green. It's just a bright kind of gnarly green, I call it. So yeah, there's no special green. The louder the green, the better. You don't want to have a muted green or a dark green or kind of a forest bluish green, because when that green is extracted, there's a lot more tendency of some other colors being in it versus this kind of loud green. It's going to be rare that some other color falls in that spectrum. Okay, so actually I want something different. Yeah, I can do a drift. I can do all kinds of stuff with that, right? So that's what you want to think about, what you want the, it can pop in. Let's do a wipe. I'm going to do wipe in on Enter. And it's going to go that direction to wipe it all away. Okay. All right, so there we go. And then I'll show you what it looks like by making it green. So we'll go here, we'll make it green. So now when I play through this, stays on screen for about 4 or 5 seconds. See that now? So we're using the green as an eraser because everything is going to have green in it for all their transparent backgrounds, right? So you just have to remember that instead of having to try to figure out an exit for it. Now, and I can also do this multiple ways, right? So if I go here, let me go back to the green. I'm gonna make it a different color because I want you to see what's happening. I can do it this way too. So say if I want each part to disappear separately, right? I can do that, copy, paste, because that doesn't matter that overlaps the other one. Right, and I can even change the timing on those to delete at different times. So that bottom one deletes. Right there. All right, so I click that one, click that one, and both of them have wipe. I'm gonna go to show timing, open them up, and one of them starts way down there. I have the other one start after it. So they even wipe off at different times, right? And I'll show you what that looks like. And so those are just kind of different creative ways you can do that, right? And that's just using wipe as the option. So make both of these green. So let's play them out. See that? And so you're just basically using your green for all that stuff, right? Yeah, if you have a green screen for your background, that's a separate layer in Ecamm. This is an overlay, right? And I'm going to export that and kind of show you those different things too. But let me know if this is kind of helping you guys out, because here's the deal, right? Here's what's cool that I really want you guys to grasp. Now, could I have done a overlay lower third like this in Keynote a little quicker? Maybe. But here's the deal. Because, like what I showed you yesterday, you can do frame elements. Here's what's crazy now. I can do these things and I can make, let's delete that. I can fill, when I do a frame, I can fill this with a video or a picture. I can put some kind of animation inside of that. So that's the power, right? This can have a video background. But now that I'm using the green screens and the frames, I can use them as graphics, but they're filled with other things other than just a picture or a color or a texture. The frame elements is what's going to allow you to now expand into a whole new realm of creating these animations, because you can animate, and I don't have, let's go here, let's go to type in frames real quick, and I want to spend some time doing so say frames, right? Say instead of this box I have this box instead, and I can rotate it to make it look like the other one. Right now, this can be the graphic, the video the frame you made in Keynote or wherever else, because you can make these frame pieces and bring them in and start doing things. It's not just the shapes that were the mustache and stuff like that. You can do shapes of kind of just basic triangles, hexagons, and things like that that may not be in the frames palette, but you can then use those for your lower thirds and your pop-up graphics and things like that. So don't really commit yourself, so to speak, of just crazy looking stuff in a frame. You want to you can use frames for anything. Now that's sideways, and I can rotate it. And you do that by double clicking. So the shape doesn't matter, right? So now that's a pop-up thing. You can even have yourself doing a little animation in your lower third that you can export, right? You couldn't do this in Keynote. So lean to the power of each application, even if you want to maybe create the elements of your lower third in Keynote. You can make them in here too, but you can make the elements of your lower third in Keynote, export it as a PDF to make frame pieces, bring it in here, add a video to it, add other things to it because of the huge library of stuff that's in Canva. It still runs the same animations. I can still pop this in as an animation, right? I can still pop that in and the video is playing, right? So keep thinking, keep creating, because out of anything I'm trying to show you guys how to do is think of it and then see if you can make the app do it versus, oh, that's cool, it pops in. No, I'm gonna pop in a video of me waving at people in my lower third. I'm gonna pop in a video of, whatever. And so think about those things even as you animate and stuff like that. So hopefully this has been helpful. I just wanted to kind of show you a couple of the animations, ways you can do it by grouping. Definitely how you can delete or remove your animation by using green. So think of green as an eraser. It's going to erase or make invisible whatever's on the screen. So you can even start with a static lower third and then use the green to make it disappear in a fancy way, right? Now, I'll be remiss if I didn't do this. So let's go back home. And I really want to talk about presentations because I see a lot of people making content and doing different things. And presentations, oddly enough, is one of the stronger pieces of Canva compared to Keynote, just for all the array of templates that are available. And I kind of alluded to it a little bit yesterday, but you have all these different options of presentations. Actually, I like that one. Let me use this one real quick because it's making me think about something. So you look at this design right here, and it's green. That's not why I'm looking at it. But you look at this design, and just this design is helping me kind of figure out where I might want to put my video window. And so I'm not going to create presentations where my video window is just stuck in a corner or even off to the side. I don't want to create Zoom looking stuff when I'm just in a corner. You have an opportunity to make cohesive branded presentations that look good and looks like you're part of the presentation. So why not do that, right? Now you can do this in multiple ways. So one way you can do it is to, in this case, kind of ignore that being green. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna make the background of this a whole different color, just so we don't think about green. Change all to blue. Okay. Because I don't want us to think about green when I'm talking about this real quick. So I'm gonna go here. Let's ungroup that. Let's say I'm gonna put my video right here. So I'm gonna ungroup that. Now remember that green means transparent. So I can either have my slideshow show up on top of me, knowing that I'm going to be behind this window. So what I would do in this instance, I would then copy that green box and in every slide, paste that in. I'll just do it for a few slides. Now, as you see, that green box is in not so good of a spot based on how this is laid out, right? But this is your presentation. So at this point now, you would go through and start tweaking your presentation, knowing that it's going to be a hole in it right here. Even to the fact that, okay, I like that, not really sure how that's being used. I don't even like that really. But even this, right? I'm going to grab this and make that overlap my video. Position, layers, bring that to the top. Now my video window will be here and this little squirrely thing will be over me, right? So you start thinking about those things like that. So I'll go back here. Yeah, that's decent. And I fit pretty decent in that, but I'm going to drag this over. We'll change all this text to make it fit. Right? And so you start to kind of work the designs knowing it's going to be a hole right there. So this ain't going to work for sure. Right? I can do that. Move that down. Right? Even do the points like this. So I'm going to have to move that for a second. Let me delete that. Slide that over. Right? To put my thing back. So see, as you start to kind of work your design and do things, knowing that this is going to be a hole in your design. The other thing you can do, like when I was talking about those Prezi style presentations, you can think about the animation between the slides and how that's going to work. So I'm going to go back here now, and I'm going to just make the whole slideshow green. Because once I pick green as this background, it's going to ask me, do I want to make everything that's that color blue green? I'll just say yes. Sometimes that doesn't work because it'll make other things green that you didn't want. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is all transparent. So I see this as blank now. I got to tune my mind to see this as blank, right? And that's not there anymore. And so how is this going to cover up my face and things like that? I want all this stuff to be smaller. And I'm just rough cutting this, y'all. So kind of don't really, because my face is roughly here, right? So all that stuff shows up on screen. But let me show you an animation. So I'm going to go here, and if I click between the slides, this is a transition, right? So I click that, and I can kind of see how they're going to change. Right? You could do, yeah, I'm going to do the slide, right? And I'm going to slide to the right. Now let me show this to you really quick just to kind of show it to you. So me on screen, I'm going to go back to Canva, and I'm going to present this and present it. Now I'm going to make a screen overlay now. Pick the Canvas screen as a screen. There's a slideshow. Going to enlarge it. Double click it again. And I'm going to change the blending mode to green screen. Okay. And as you noticed right here, you probably don't see my mouse right now. Well, right here, that's in that tone of green, right? Those boxes are in that tone of green. So you see how much stuff disappeared when I said no green? So you have to watch that when you do it. So I'm glad I did that to myself just now, right? So I'm going to go back here. And you see that animation? And so I can now do my thing here and go through my presentation, right? But you want to set this up. You can even put your secret weapon graphic as the background of your slideshow when you're making these, what I call Prezi style presentations, and see how it's going to fit around your face, right? So put this as your background and start designing. And I'm telling you guys, I just want to, keep your mind going about things that you can do that are creative this way, right? Yeah, we show Canva full screen, and I can show you how to do that. Let me escape that. In Canva, up here, you have present and share. I'm going to click present, and then you have the options. You always want to present full screen. Now the full screen option is probably not the full screen you're used to. Full screen to Canva means the full web browser screen, right? It's not, well, yeah, it turns your browser into a full screen. It doesn't take over your monitor. It just makes your browser window go full screen and it fills it. And then all you do is share that screen as an overlay in Ecamm, turn on green screen, and you have the Prezi style presentation as I talked about. So that's what I would do. And so kind of do that, right? So let me go back here, and I'm going to, I want to use my secret weapon graphic as a background. So let me go to photos, go to uploads actually. And black shirt is cool. Use a black shirt. Right click on the black shirt and say replace background. Right? So now I'm the background of this, knowing that it's going to be green. Yeah, in Keynote, you have to say place slideshow in window. So the same thing applies to Keynote, right? The great thing about Canva is all the templates. Keynote doesn't have as many templates as Canva, but the same rules apply. The reason I wanted to show you this in Canva is because you have hundreds, if not thousands, of presentation templates to work from to build your designs from. And definitely, I want to add this to your homework too, because I have basic homework here. Let me show you your homework real quick. Animate one of your new custom graphics that came in your kit, or something you made yesterday, or something you made by me showing you over the past 3 days. And I would love for you, if you do content, teaching content, and things that need to be presented, I would love for you to work on a presentation, both a green screen presentation, what I call Prezi style, and play with the transitions to make them move across the screen in unique ways from slide to slide. And as you could tell, you can have animations in your slides. So all that stuff is interactive, live slides, don't have to save it as a video, nothing like that. So kind of make a Prezi style with a green background, then also do a typical presentation with a green hole cut in it that you can then use as an overlay to place yourself behind to put yourself in the slideshow versus in a little corner around the slideshow. Yes, all the pages need to be green so they can be transparent as part of your overlay. Yes. Let me go to Q real quick. Time got by me today, y'all. Hopefully y'all guys learned something cool today. I want to make sure I was able to help you guys go through that. All right. Let's answer some questions. Magic mouse. Okay. You can bring in your fonts. That was just verified. Pro mouse is just pro mouse, so it should work with your trackpad also, because it's just a mouse, it's a cursor. So if you can control your cursor with your mouse or control your cursor with your trackpad, it should work. It's just it's an enhanced cursor, even though it's called pro mouse. Yes, you can do a blue screen overlay too. Green is just typical for movies and stuff like that. But depending on what you're wearing, you might want to do a blue screen instead of a green screen. Yes, so that does work. What's the feature that Canva integrated in? I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Did that. Did that. Okay, I can show you again how to expand the timeline. I'll try to do that again. Is there a hex code for the best screen? No, I don't really think so. I wouldn't really worry about a hex code for the green, honestly, y'all. Pick one of the two bright greens in Canva. And as you saw, I didn't put in a hex code for it. I clicked erase the green and it disappeared. No halos, no nothing. It's basically just green. There's an industry standard, probably green, because most greens, I don't know how that color was adopted per se. Yeah, but green. Just don't do a forest green or nothing like that, or kind of a teal green. Do as pure green as you can. Possible to do the fade out. Yes, you can do the fade out with Ecamm because you can fade in and out elements that you want by playing them as part of your show. So yes, that's definitely an option. The enter option is there on the animation. Once you pick an animation, it's going to give you the enter, exit, and both. If you have a video with green in it and you put it in as a overlay and use green screen cutout, you're going to cut out part of the video. That's just how that's going to happen because you're cutting out all the green. That's the downside of not having true transparency because you're using a color. Anything that uses that color will be transparent. If it was transparent, you wouldn't have to worry about a color. But since you're using a color, you got to now watch your color palette, what you're wearing, your brand graphics. You got to watch now all that stuff because green is going to go away. Okay. Okay, you don't have to download the presentation to make it work. You're going to play the presentation in present mode. Let's go back here. And forgive me for not, no, I was on screen, just in a little bubble. I wasn't full screen. Okay, you want to go here to present. Click that, and it's going to present it in a full screen window. And just hit present. Now, this is a live slideshow, right? As with any other overlay, you can use your mouse wheel, or you can use your magic mouse scroll, the physical magic mouse, not the app, to scale up your screen to make it fill the whole screen so you don't have windows and stuff on it. Let me go over here to Ecamm. See, I've made it smaller, but it is a green screen, so you really couldn't tell, right? So it can scale up and down. If I double click on it, go over here. So I can double click on that and do different things with it. Oh, that's my actual screen. That's behind me now. That's not my overlay. That's why it wasn't working. All right, so let's go here. And now I need to add a screen overlay. Double click that. And let me do this. Let me go to, we're going to end this with me going to demo mode because I want to show you guys. Okay, let's go to demo mode and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So options, live demo mode. And we're going to end here in demo mode today. All right, so here's everything on my screen. And this is the shared screen, right? I did a screen overlay. I'm going to double click that to get now the window to control it. I'm going to pick my secondary display, which is my second monitor that has Canva on it in a web browser. And let me go to me full screen. So you can see it over top of me. Okay, there it is there. So I'm going to double click that. I've picked my secondary display and I'm going to go green screen key, right? And I'm going to use my mouse wheel to scale it, or I can grab a corner and scale it. So I'm going to use my mouse wheel to scale. And this presentation here now has me as a background image. But I'm going to go back to Canva and I'm going to go to a screen that doesn't have me as a background image. So in Canva right now, this background is green. And let me get this other thing off my screen because it's confusing me because there's a delay. All right. In Canva, this background is green. And it's a full screen overlay, right? So as I scroll through this, the green disappears. This is a live presentation. So I'm just basically using my mouse keys to scroll through it. As you see here, all the animations still work, all that stuff. So there's no exporting. It's playing a live slideshow. Yes, this is also an option in Keynote. This can work in Keynote. So let me go back to my Ecamm screen. And if I double click on the screen, because Canva is my full screen overlay right now, right? This is it right here, screen share. And if I go back over here and I turn off green screen, this is what color it is natively in Canva, right? So that's the green that I took away, right? That's all I'm doing. So green screen deletes all the green, right? So hopefully that's more clear. Yeah, the Prezi style, it's another app or service where they had these animations that move across your screen while you're on video. It's kind of a software hardware mix that they do on their end. You input your virtual cam, you can insert their Prezi slideshow as an overlay in their app, then bring all that back into Ecamm. But now you don't need that third party stuff. You just need Ecamm's green screen capabilities to make a Prezi style presentation. All I mean by that is a presentation that floats on top of you. That's all I mean by it. No, the presentation will not be in Ecamm. It'll stay in Canva. Your audience will see whatever's on your Ecamm screen because it's an input, it's an overlay. This slideshow is no different than a graphic overlay that you're broadcasting to your audience. That's all it is. You're just doing a screen overlay. So whatever shows up in this live screen right here, where my mouse is floating over, this is my live Ecamm screen. That's why you guys are seeing it, because I've added it as an overlay. So your audience would be the same way. Yes, you can download the presentation you can download it as a PDF and put that in as a regular overlay, green backgrounds if you want. And you can then scroll through it in Ecamm. And I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. But all your animations will be gone. No animations. But, it's still fine because you'll still be able to click through like I'm clicking through right now. See how it doesn't have any transitions? That's a transition. But these two don't transition. This is exactly the same way it would work if you download it as a PDF and made it an overlay in Ecamm. So I'll show you guys how to do that tomorrow. If you're locked into your content, don't anticipate making any edits, a PDF will probably be smoother. Don't have to worry about animations and stuff like that. You can't edit on the fly. You can't change things on the fly, but it's manual. So the timing is up to you. A PDF works great. It's inside of Ecamm. You just scroll through it. Personally, I would probably do a PDF because I don't really have to have animations and like this little squiggly thing in the stars. That's not that important to me. As I said, the content is the most important thing. So I'd probably do it as a PDF personally, just to have it all right there. And another good thing is over here on Canva, you see my mouse. If this was a PDF in Ecamm, you wouldn't see the mouse, right? So it's more intuitive and more clean that way. Yeah, all these videos you see here now, and I'll just turn off that overlay. All the videos you see here right now are gonna be here on YouTube, and I'll come out of live mode. All the videos you see here now are gonna be on the Ecamm YouTube channel. Just look for the Canva challenge thumbnail for those. They're here in perpetuity. They're going to be here. That's part of the Ecamm library. So just visiting the Ecamm page, looking live, that's probably where they're going to reside for a little while, and they should convert over to video at some point. But just look in the live, and you can do maybe a search for Canva or a search for Bradley Teaches, and you should find them all. Yeah, you can do that in Ecamm and Canva, and I'll jump back into, so y'all trying to keep me here. I'll stay for a little while longer. Okay, jump back into Canva, and how I would probably do that, it's up to you. What slide number is that? Where are you at? That's this one. Copy. Well, let's do this real quick. So say this is, you can do it this way. If you want it to be just float on top of you, you can get the text file and paste. I would paste in all of them, right, into this one, and then just copy paste, and on each one delete the one above it and show the next one. And so then when you show these, you just scroll through them. You can scroll through them manually. You can have a box behind them, right? Then the rest of it's green, and that's the look of your lyrics. Where it'll be a bar in them, you can just scroll through them. They can be a live scroll, right? So I can present this. Present this, right? And those are my song lyrics. Now it's going to be the same thing twice, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, see, so you can do it this way, song lyrics. This is live. Or that way, song lyrics. And so basically, you just copy and paste that same slide over and over and over to have the look, and then paste your lyrics in there, right? I would paste all the lyrics in to that first slide, and then copy and paste that slide and delete the lyrics I don't want, right? And so then you got all the lyrics to that particular song. And then you can manually scroll through them during your service, just like that. So yes, it is possible. Yes, it'll work. Screen share. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, y'all. All right. I think we're about to wrap this thing up. So we are good to go, y'all. I'm not looking at regular comments right now. I'm just looking at your questions. Let's see what the regular comments say. I appreciate the support you guys are giving me. We got one more day left of this. We're going to combine Canva with Keynote a little bit tomorrow, and with Ecamm, and kind of put all this stuff together and showing you, like I've been showing you, right? This is how it would work in Ecamm. But we'll do a PDF tomorrow too, and show you the different ways that this green screen is really a huge power source now. And also utilizing frames to fill them with different stuff to then use as overlays. We'll actually export some of that stuff tomorrow and put it into Ecamm so you guys can really see it. We've been building. I've been doing a lot of instruction, hopping all over the place. So come tomorrow with your questions that you may have over the first 3 days. Questions that you may have, because tomorrow's the last day. We'll hot seat it a little bit. What are you working on? What are your questions? I'm going to show you how these 3 apps work together. Instead of the dynamic duo, it's going to be the dynamic trio, so to speak. So bring your questions. Let me know what you're working on. Post stuff in the Ecamm group. I love to see what you guys are doing. Just let me know what's going on, guys. We've been having some fun. Let's continue to have some fun. One more day left. So bring your questions and bring your projects. And we're going to have a good time tomorrow. Until then, I am Bradley. Bradley Teaches. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Keep on creating, y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.